This is Trent and Jason from Thunder Underground. We've got a podcast you people need to check out if you're not aware of it. But in the meantime, you're here because Atlas Rise by Metallica was released today.
That's right, at 2 p.m. our time.
Yeah, we're here a little late. We had stuff going on, but regardless, we're here. It's Halloween 2016, so happy Halloween, everyone.
That's right.
And I guess what better of a Halloween gift than a new Metallica song?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is Atlas Rise, the third track from Hardwired to Self-Destruct to be released thus far. I would assume at this point we're less than 3 weeks from the album coming out, so this is probably the final song they'll release, you think?
Yeah.
We could get one more.
Right, yeah.
Could get one more, you don't know, but
yeah,
at the most it'd be one more. But we get the full album here November 18th. What's that? 18 days basically.
18 days away.
Yeah.
Man, you're good at math.
Yeah. I learned it, man. Well, like I said, Thunder Underground, we've got a podcast, soundcloud.com/Thunder-Underground. All that's up there. But in the meantime, 2 p.m., you listened to it. What was your initial reaction?
I really dug it. I listened to it a few times. It was the grandest of the 3 songs that they've released so far. The most epic, I think. I think that, and it was it was really a new wave of British heavy metal leaning. I thought, with that really cool, like mid-range riff, when it gets going. And then there's also, just at first listen, I think, excuse me, Lars had some pretty cool drum fills I haven't heard in a while from him. And it kind of almost had, there's some moments in the song, there's almost a power metal feel in a way.
Oh yeah.
I thought, and I think the chorus, the pre-chorus, I'd have to listen to it and like point out what I thought. But just first, and that's just first reaction. And that's what I like about these is, it could change, but first reactions, that's just kind of what I got. Just,
Yeah. Yeah. I've only listened to this twice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to listen to a few times like I did on the other 2 before we recorded this. But first listen, I thought, well, this is cool. But I thought I like Moth and the Flame better.
Okay.
Then second listen, I don't know what it was. It just clicked. I'm like, no, this is better.
Yeah, I think this is,
And it's the best of the 3. And I think
best of the 3, exactly.
I like what you pointed out because I was going to kind of say the same thing. It was the grandest feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And especially after Kirk's solo, it goes into that instrumental part for a minute, probably a minute or 2 before it comes back to the chorus to wind out. And that right there sounds like the most traditional kind of 80s Metallica that we've heard, I think, since...
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Since the 80s, even past the Black Album. I'm talking like Justice pre, like that, just that section of that song reminds me of that more than anything they've done, I think.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I agree. I think that this song let me word this right, from anything they've ever done, 1991 on, this song harkens back to the old days more than anything.
Yeah,
I've heard him do. It really does. So that was a good point you just made. I agree.
Well, which is cool because we kind of said the same thing about Moth and the Flame.
Yeah,
but we're this one
and
even
now
more
we're
so.
like going even more into that kind of feel, that attitude.
Well, the chorus of this reminded me a lot of. There's one line where I can't remember the line that he says. But the last part of the line, I guess the way he raises his voice, just something about it reminds me of Injustice for All, like just instantly.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a chunk of the chorus. But the rest of it, I can't really pinpoint like this sounds like Ride the Lightning or Injustice or Master Puppets or anything specific. It just sounds like 80s Metallica.
It has that exactly. And it's not a throwback, but it has that spirit,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like I mentioned with the last one, I don't really ever think they're going to truly sound that way because his voice has changed a lot. Mm-hmm. And, the production on this is just like Moth and the Flame where it's real Black Album, huge.
Yeah.
And it's slick, but not overly slick to the point that it sounds too slick or whatever the right way to say that is. So I think that's, we've heard that from all three songs, and that's something we mentioned on the first two. So if you haven't heard those, go listen. You might as well believe that this whole thing is going to be extremely well produced.
Oh yeah, I've got to think that this is going to be better than Death Magnetic.
Yeah,
I really think that it's just crazy how I was on the way home from work. I'm listening, and it's just how these guys can go from one extreme to the other, and then to the other, and then to the other, and then to the other. In the last 35 years, whatever it's been.
Yeah,
I mean, they go from Phantom Lord to One to
Hero of the Day,
exactly,
or Ronnie.
Yeah, exactly, Ronnie. And then 20 years later, they're back writing stuff that makes you feel like it's 1984 again, but not in a bad way.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know, there's such a vast, talent with these guys, and it's really cool to see that progression. And that's the thing is about Atlas Rise is it totally, you feel like it's 1984, 1985, but at the same time, it doesn't feel dated.
Yeah.
And, they're really harnessing something cool here. Like I said, this is the most epic of the three that we've heard. And it's, so far, I think it's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, first listen, I thought I was leaning a little the other way, but second listen, it just kind of clicked. And I thought I like the other two.
Oh, definitely.
And I guess it's kind of weird that went in progression. Like I've liked each one a little better. So, I assume we've got, what was this, 10? Did they say this is 10 songs or 11?
I can't remember. I think it's 10.
Regardless, we've got over a quarter of the songs so far. So you can't think that this isn't going to be a great album based off of the three songs we've heard so far.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because we've heard basically 15, 16 minutes worth of the album.
Yeah, and after I heard the song once, I went and listened to all three songs again, in a row. So it's just cool to see. It's a cool window into what this album's going to be.
Yeah,
I think that, and for a diehard Metallica fan like myself, that defended this band at every turn, even when they were kind of defenseless at some points,
right?
Saint Anger, but it's just cool to. I think I'm going to be vindicated here.
Yeah,
in about 18 days.
Yeah, yeah, because a lot of bands will just think of, say, the big four. All of them have at least one album that a lot of people didn't care much for.
Mm-hmm.
Slayer was just one, I guess, that gets a little slack, but not really. But those bands never strayed as far as Metallica did.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is now you've got all those bands releasing music that harkens back to their heyday in the 80s.
Yeah.
But just like you mentioned with Metallica, none of it sounds dated. It all sounds current. It all sounds big, bad, bombastic, and like great new metal with that spirit of the 80s.
That's right. And they're all doing it at the highest level right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all bringing their A game.
Yeah. So I think, I was kind of talking shit, I'm like, there's no way this album can be as good as For All Kings.
That's what I'm saying.
But now we've got three songs that are really good.
I don't know. It's still going to be tough.
If the other 6 or 7 songs or 7 or 8 songs, whatever it is, are as good as these, this is a contender for one of the top albums.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless. I mean, even if it's not as good as For All Kings, I know it's going to be in your top 2 probably.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe 3 behind Megadeth. I don't know how you're feeling. But.
And I know we're getting off, the whole thing here is, we're getting off into a little tangent, which we do sometimes, but, just to bring it back is, this is Atlas Rise is just badass, and it's pretty epic.
Yeah.
So I like that. It just gets bigger and bigger as we go.
Yeah. So basically, in 18 days, be right here. Subscribe to the Thunder Underground on YouTube, and we'll do the same thing, but for the whole album.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go over the whole damn thing,
and we'll be here or there going on tangents, like you said. But in the meantime, do that. Subscribe. Go back and listen to our reaction for Moth and the Flame and for Hardwired. We also recently did a reaction for the new Avenged Sevenfold. We've also got a video podcast up there with Gumby from Battlecross.
Yes.
And then if you go to SoundCloud.com, we've got 93, we're about to have 94 episodes of our podcast up. We've had on guys from Overkill, Death Angel, Megadeth, Crowbar, Avatar, Drowning Pool, Soil, Scattered Hamlet, Great White, Warrant, Europe. The list goes on and on. Like I said, 90 plus episodes. So get on SoundCloud, subscribe there, here on YouTube, Facebook, and then thethunderunderground.com. And we'll talk to you next time.